Ever since February 1st rolled around, everybody's been wondering, I wonder when the next Nintendo Direct will happen. To my surprise, when I wake up this morning, we have an announcement. It's tomorrow. I had kind of hoped that maybe there would be like a week, so maybe I could prepare for this and do like a little prediction video, and then we're gonna do, you know, something afterwards, whatever. No, it's tomorrow. In pure Nintendo Direct fashion, it's tomorrow. So I'm utterly unprepared. But that didn't stop me from wanting to make a video on what I think my predictions might be, and just my thoughts going into tomorrow's Direct. Typically, the first Direct of the year can either be really hit or miss. Last year, it was a huge hit for me because it was full of JRPGs, and so many of my favorite games from 2022 got announced in the February Direct. So I'm personally pretty excited. I have high hopes. We also have some pretty big games coming out this year that I'm thinking we'll get some updates on, but we'll see. I'm also going to talk about some of my very likely not going to happen wishes as well, because, you know, sometimes it's always fun to just kind of throw in your hopes and dreams and desires before going into a Nintendo Direct, only to get utterly crushed by the end of the 40 minutes. But hey. Anyways, hi everybody, my name is Alex, aka Quality, and welcome back to the channel. This is an extremely casual video. I'm like trying to get 20 things done today, but I really wanted to do it. It just sounded like a lot of fun, so that's why I'm on the ground again. I was like, I don't even have time to set up at my desk. I need to be on the ground. We just gotta do it. We gotta go. The Nintendo Direct is upon us. And before we get into the predictions, I do want to say, I have no basis for why I feel these things. I'm just saying them on the internet, and that's it. I don't pay too much attention to rumors because, again, I don't want to get my little heart crushed. I try to avoid that as much as possible, but I do pick up on inklings of things, and, you know, sometimes it just, based on past experiences, that's why I formulate the thoughts and predictions that I have. Whether or not they're right, I don't know. I have no credentials, so we're just going based off of what I think might happen. So we'll start, of course, with the big one that everybody's wondering about. Will we see something about Tears of the Kingdom? Will we get a full trailer with the story and more gameplay features, etc.? What's gonna happen? My mom even jokingly asked if they were gonna delay it again, in which hopefully not. No, I don't think they will. I don't think that's something we have to worry about. But I really believe that we will see something Tears of the Kingdom related. I'm kind of torn. Part of me thinks it could be one big trailer, or they're gonna give us more of a little story teaser and then say, in 1 to 2 weeks, we are doing a dedicated Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Direct, where they're gonna go over all of the gameplay stuff. That's kind of the side I'm leaning more towards, because I feel like they know that everybody's like waiting with bated breath during this Direct to see if anything Tears of the Kingdom is gonna show up, and assuming they're gonna put it at the we have one more thing to talk about portion. I feel like they want more time to expand on some of the ideas, so I really think it's going to be story trailer at the very end of the Direct, announcement of a Zelda Direct or a Treehouse or something like that. That way we can get to the nitty-gritty details of the gameplay. That's my hope. I think it just makes a lot more sense that way than trying to cram a really large trailer into this Direct. But I guess it also depends on what else we have to see. I mean, conversely, the we have one more thing announcement could very well be Metroid Prime 4, which, are we gonna see it? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not a super big Metroid fan. I love Samus as a character, but I've not played any of the Prime games, and I've only played some of the older Metroid games, so I don't really know the series too well, but I know this is a game that means a lot to a lot of people, and the fact that it's kind of been in this never-ending development hole, I'm really getting worried. I'm really getting worried. And I'm really hoping that we'll see something, if even just an update. Like, yes, the game is still happening, but I also feel like at this point in time, we need a little bit more. Whether or not we'll see it tomorrow, though, I honestly don't know. I think if they're planning to release it within the first half of the year, which, by the way, all of the games they're talking about in the Direct tomorrow are games slated for the first half of the year, so we won't see anything about holiday releases, anything like that. It's going to be the first half of the year. So take that as you will. So it all depends on when they're trying to get Metroid 4 out. I don't foresee them doing it before Tears of the Kingdom, though, you know? Like, I feel like they're gonna have Tears of the Kingdom take the reins for the first half of the year, and then if anything, I feel like Metroid Prime 4 would be released in the later half of the year, but I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not too positive we'll see it tomorrow. And I'm sorry. Again, I don't have any basis for these feelings. It just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right. If we do, I will be pleasantly surprised. I really, really will. It just doesn't feel right. Unless, again, maybe it's the very last thing. We have one more thing. Here's your release date for the later half of the year. And that's the exception to the mainly games in the first part of the year thing. I don't know. Metroid 4 is really, really up in the air, I feel. Speaking of 4s, Pikmin 4. So I recently heard a rumor that Pikmin 4 is slated for a March release date, I believe, I think, or it was May. One of the two M months, but I can't remember. Regardless, spring of this year. I think it's very possible. I do think it's very possible. I feel like Pikmin 4 has been in development for much longer than we know, and I feel like the trailer they did in the last Nintendo Direct was really just a teaser. They didn't want to show too much about it. I feel like we will get a release date or a release window for it at the very least. I feel like it's time. With all of the rumors that I've heard it releasing this spring, I do think that's possible, but I'm kind of in between. I feel like it's possible, but if it doesn't happen this spring, I'm not gonna be too disappointed. And I don't think a lot of people are gonna be too disappointed in that. But it would be really nice if it came out this spring. I feel like Pikmin is a very springtimey game, so it makes sense. Or early summer, like June. I think that would make a lot of sense, but I really do think we're gonna see something Pikmin 4 related. If even a trailer, a release date, release window, we're gonna see something Pikmin related. And of course, we have some games coming up soon too, the Tales of Symphonia remake, Octopath Traveler 2, Kirby. I think all three of those have the possibility to get one final trailer. Maybe not so much Tales of Symphonia, just because that's only out next week. And I feel like they don't really need to do too much more promotion for that game. If you play Tales of Symphonia or you're a Tales of fan, you already know it's coming. But I do feel like we will get another trailer for Octopath Traveler 2 and probably one for Kirby as well. Just touching on some final things, just kind of the last, hey, pick up these games, they're gonna be great, kind of pushed. So I don't think there's gonna be anything new and exciting revealed for those. I think it's just gonna be continuing promotion for those games. So some DLC that I think might be coming as well. So we are still waiting for Wave 3 of the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC, so I think they're either going to maybe shadow drop it or just announce a release date relatively soon. There are 4 waves in the DLC, and Wave 4, which is the story DLC, isn't supposed to be coming until the end of the year. And this is me kind of dipping into the hopes and dreams section a little early, but I really hope we get something about the story. The Xenoblade 3 review isn't out yet, obviously, because I'm filming this, but I loved that game. Spoiler alert, I loved that game, and I need that DLC as soon as possible. So as soon as they can get it to me, I want it. So my hope is that they'll show a little bit of the story and maybe give a release date for that as well. Maybe it won't be as later in the year as we think. Maybe it'll be like August, but probably not. I don't know. But I do think we will for sure see Wave 3 and what that's going to encompass. I also think there's a big possibility that we might get the announcement of the next Fire Emblem Engage DLC as well. I just think because they had a day 1 DLC, the game's been out for a few weeks. I don't know if we'll get the DLC right away, but I could see them announcing it being like, hey, this is the second wave coming in, you know, end of the month or something like that. But we also might not. The game is still new, but I remember when they did the Three Houses DLC, it felt really quick. It felt like we were getting the DLC really quick, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just kind of slipped it in there to be like, hey, by the way, we're doing this. And Mario Kart 8 DLC, I feel like we'll see what the next wave for that is supposed to be. I bet it'll probably come out maybe the same day that the first DLC pack came out, so whatever that was, March something, because we're almost coming up on the first year of getting the DLCs released, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, we're gonna do it around the same time. So I feel like they'll announce that as well. And so here's a game that a lot of people have been waiting and wondering where the heck it went. The Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. I think we will see it. There's been a big rumor going around that it's gonna get shadow dropped the day after the Direct, and I don't think that's gonna happen. I really don't think that's gonna happen. I feel like that's a really poor decision because then you have it coming out on a Thursday. This game that's been just completely not spoken about for over a year now, I think, almost a year at the very least. Like just completely not talked about, to be shadow dropped the next day after the Direct, after they announce, hey, it's back, we're fine. I don't think that's gonna happen. I feel like that will like affect the game's day 1 sales because people will just be confused and not know what's going on. I don't know, but I do think we will get a release date, and I don't think it's gonna be that far away. I think it'll probably be within a month, just because the game's already done, I believe. It's just we need it to come out. So I'm gonna guess they're gonna give us a release date, and it's gonna be out within a month. Those are my Advance War thoughts and theories, and I hope I'm right because I really love Advance Wars and I want to play it. So I'm hoping that's true. Okay, so let's talk about some Mario stuff too. One, which I think is a pretty big possibility given that we're only a few months away from the movie, I do think they're gonna do another one of those little segments with some of the actors in the movie. They did one with Chris Pratt and Jack Black, and then they did another one with Anya Taylor-Joy, and I can't remember who the other person in that one was. I foresee them doing another one, especially in further anticipation of the movie, so I feel like they might give us another really big trailer, just in anticipation for the movie coming out, which it's kind of crazy that the movie's almost out. We only have a few more months, and I don't know how to feel about that. I'm excited, but I'm also like, huh? I don't know. Maybe I'll make a video on that at some point in time too. But regardless, I feel like we'll get some Mario movie announcement. But there's one that a lot of people are really, really hoping for. 3D Mario. A new 3D Mario game, Mario Odyssey 2, what have you. I don't know. I feel like it's possible. That's another one that could be and there's one more thing at the very end. Do I think it'll come out in the first half of the year? No. Do I think they could announce it now though? Yes. And I feel like Mario is one series that no matter what they say about the timeline for games featured in the Direct, they would break it for Mario specifically because it's Mario. It's Mario. So I feel like it's very possible that we get a little teaser, or just not even a teaser, just a title, the sequel to Mario Odyssey is in the works or whatever, you know what I mean. I think it's possible, or we get a new 2D Mario. Now I feel like I see less people hoping for that side of things, but I honestly don't know. I really, really don't know. I love it, but I can't decide if it's gonna be 2D, 3D, or if we're gonna see it tomorrow. I hope. If it is, I think it would be 3D, and I think it would be announced, and that's all we get. I don't foresee us getting a big trailer or anything like that. I think we'll just get maybe a snippet or two saying that it's coming in the later half of the year. But I don't know. I'm hopeful. And then one more before we get into my personal hopes and dreams for a Direct that are never gonna happen. Are we getting a new console this year? I don't think so. I'm taking my stance. I don't think so. And I've kind of been on the I don't think we're getting a new Switch train for a few years, but I really just think this is the last year that I can say that. 2024, I think we might get a new console. However, I really don't think 2023 is the year. The Switch is still thriving, honestly, in terms of sales, and despite the hardware limitations, it's still going on. It's still like people are still really into the Switch. So I don't see them wanting to move away from it quite yet. I know a lot of people were thinking maybe a new system will come out with Tears of the Kingdom, but I just don't think they would do it. I did, and for a while I was kind of like, maybe they'll go the Breath of the Wild route and release it on Switch and then Switch Pro or whatever. I don't think they're gonna do it. I think they're going to wait the full calendar year, and hey, maybe if we get a new Mario, maybe that'll be the first Switch successor exclusive, or Switch, like it's on the Switch and it's on the Switch successor. Who knows? But I don't foresee us getting it in 2023, and I don't foresee them making an announcement about it. I could see if we get one, they're gonna announce it in the summer and then kind of go through a full year. Possibly. I don't know. I'd have to look at the timeline for Switch and other console announcements to see kind of how it fits in, but I don't think we're gonna see one tomorrow. Okay, we're sitting cross-legged now, and hopefully that didn't change too much. Now we're on to my hopes and dreams. Some might be more likely than others, some not at all. So my first hope, but I don't think we're gonna see it, is a Xenoblade X port. This is purely selfish. I really want Xenoblade X, but I want it physically. But right now a Wii U copy is really, really expensive. I might still bite the bullet. However, if they just put it to the Switch, then I wouldn't have that problem. But I've heard great things about Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's the one that I haven't played. I always wanted it on the Wii U, but I just never ended up picking it up. So I'm really hopeful we might get something like that. And so this is one that I saw on Twitter not that long ago that I think they would randomly put into a Nintendo Direct and people would be like, what the heck is this game? and that's the Baten Kaitos remake. I saw this on Twitter, I don't remember from who, I don't remember how credible it is, but I've never played those games, but I really freaking love the soundtrack, so I feel like it's possible. So I would love to play it if possible. I don't know, we'll see. I do, in a weird way, I feel like that is a very likely suspect. If we're gonna get it, I feel like they could announce it tomorrow, or they won't announce it in a direct, but I feel like we could. I just feel like we could. I don't know. It's such a weird JRPG, one of the only on the GameCube, and I just feel like it would do honestly kind of well on the Switch. It scratches that very niche JRPG itch that a lot of Switch owners have, and it'd be able to bring new life to the series. So who knows? Maybe Baten Kaitos remake. We'll see. And this is another one that people keep wishing for and hoping for years, a Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD collection, much like the Super Mario 3D All-Stars pack. I wish, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I feel like we've been asking for it for so long at this point in time, and everybody knows it's a super obvious choice for Nintendo to make that they're not gonna make it. But I still want it, because it would be really nice to play Twilight Princess in HD, because that's another Wii U exclusive that I missed out on. Ultimately, just port a bunch of Wii U games onto the Switch. That'd be great. Nintendo Land, where are you? But seriously, if Nintendo Land came out on the Switch, that would be really, really cool. That'd be really, really cool. Okay, so this is a game that's already announced, but I would honestly love to hear them talk about it in the direct, and that is Dokapon Kingdom. I'm a Dokapon Kingdom fanatic. I love that game. I'm so excited that they are remaking it for the Switch. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So if they talked about it in the direct, honestly, it's great because it's just more promotion to get more people on board with this game, so I can play against a bunch of people. Play Dokapon Kingdom, please. It's great. I love it. For those that don't know, Dokapon Kingdom, it's like an Atlas Mario Party meets RPG kind of game. You're on this board and you're fighting monsters and you're trying to be the richest person amongst your party, so that way you can take the kingdom, and it's a great game. It's so funny, it's ridiculous, I love it. And it's coming back, baby, it's coming back! My hopes and prayers have been answered after all this time. So honestly, yeah, they should just mention it just to get more people interested. All right, and so another one that I think is possible but not probable is the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. I feel like they could announce it during a direct. I feel like they could. I know they were talking about how they should have updates specifically on the Dragon Quest III remake soon, but I don't know if they'd save it for a Nintendo Direct or if Dragon Quest would do their own kind of announcement for it. I don't think we'll see Dragon Quest XII. I think Dragon Quest XII is going to be one that's more publicized and for the masses away from Nintendo, but I do feel like we could get the HD 2D remake announcement. Possibly. I'd love it. I'd love to play Dragon Quest III, and from the screenshots that they posted forever ago, it looks really cute. So I'd love another HD 2D remake of something on my Switch. Please, give me more. And then here's two that are very similar to one another and aren't gonna happen. And they're just not gonna happen. One, I'll start with a slightly more believable one, but also still pretty unbelievable. A new Mario and Luigi or a new Paper Mario game. Origami King came out in 2021, so it's been only 2 years, but I feel like they could announce another one. I would also be really scared if they did. I think the caveat with this is I only want a new Paper Mario game if it's going to be good. And don't get me wrong, I actually really enjoyed Origami King. I just hated the combat. I want to return to the original and Thousand Year Door combat. And I'm hoping that since they put the original Paper Mario on the N64 part of the Nintendo Online expansion pass, that maybe they were like, okay, we see that people really like this one. Maybe we can try to work it in a little bit. That's a whole big complicated story. Maybe I'll do a video on that at some point in time too, about the whole dark history about what happened to Paper Mario, but still, that would be really, really cool. It's just to get a new Paper Mario. And of course with Mario and Luigi, for all we know, the series is dead. The series is dead because Alpha Dream is gone. It's just gone. So I'm really hoping that maybe it'll be revived some way. How cool would that be? I've never played any of the Mario and Luigi games except for Superstar Saga, but I really feel like it's a series that would, one, do well on the Switch, and that a lot of people would really love to see. And then finally, which is my biggest hope and dream, and it comes in two ways. I could go either which way, but I just want it. As many of you know, especially if you follow my streams and do all of that. Super Mario RPG is one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I want it on the Switch now, please give it to me now. So I want them to either put it on NSO, which I'm still kind of shocked they haven't, but I think it's a licensing deal with Square Enix. I don't know. I don't know. I either want it on the NSO or I want a remake. It's time. The game deserves so much more. Super Mario RPG is a wonderful, wonderful game. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend finding a way, but it is so good, and I feel like it would do really well on the Switch. One, it would revive another classic franchise, and it would make me happy. It would make me really happy. While I don't think it's ever gonna happen, if it did, I would probably cry. So hey, maybe tune back tomorrow or Thursday, depending on when the video comes out, to see if I cried. But in all seriousness, I am going to be streaming the Nintendo Direct over at my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/quality_individual, around 5:30 EST tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be just getting home from work at 5, so we're starting a little bit late. So if you're in the same boat as me, why not come and watch it with me? Every time that we do a Nintendo Direct or Pokemon Presents reaction, it's always a really, really fun stream. So I'd love to have you pop in. Or even if you already watched the Direct but you wanna come hang out, see my reactions, I'd love to have you there. I will also be posting a type of recap video afterwards, whether or not it'll be out tomorrow night or Thursday morning, I'm not sure, but I'll be going through the games that were actually in the Direct and talking about some of my most excited for announcements as well. Fingers crossed that it'll be a good show tomorrow. I'm hopeful. Tell me in the comments below, what do you want to see? What is your most unrealistic desire when it comes to a Nintendo Direct? Because I love hearing those. So anyways, that's gonna do it for this very short, very quick video. If you want more, why not go check out my most recent accessory video? I don't know if the video is gonna be over here. My most recent Nintendo Switch accessory video, or you can go and check out the games that I am most excited for in 2023. But anyways, fingers crossed for a good Direct tomorrow, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye!